We are live.
Yeah,
A
I can.
very good evening to everyone. Welcome to the Building the Future Together 2.0 series. Today is our fifth episode of the second season. We host this series on every Friday in the evening, and we started this series to cultivate the spirit of collaborative spirit. Do subscribe to our channel to keep yourself updated on latest trends. In case you want to be a part of this series, kindly write to us on ea@impactpr.in. Well, let's start today's session. In today's scenario, the e-commerce, in the scenario of e-commerce, large format stores, our topic for today is Kirana and B2C MSME. Is this the end of the road for them? Well, to talk on this, we have an expert. We have with us Rajesh Shenoy, co-founder Ezebuy. A very warm welcome to you, Rajesh.
Thank you. The pleasure is mine.
So before we start our conversation, Rajesh, I would let me share information about you with our viewers. Rajesh started his careers as an entrepreneur making ads. During 26 years of his career, he has worked with manufacturing companies, global FMCG, and US multinational, which build systems for mission critical applications. Rajesh has handled various roles, including business leader for the Asia Pacific project director, setting up mega factory. Rajesh is an engineer from GECT and an MBA from IMT Ghaziabad. Well, some of you might not know, he's also a brewer and craft beer reviewer. An avid traveler, he has traveled over 52 countries. Well, that's a milestone in itself, Rajesh, I must say. He's the
Thank you.
co-founder of Ezebuy.in along with his other three partners. Ezebuy is a platform to help Kirana shops, fruit and vegetable shops, meat shops, etc., to go online, help them connect and transact with their customers in a quick, easy, and cost-effective way. It's a pleasure to have you on our show, Rajesh, and thank you so much for taking out your time from your busy schedule. A very warm welcome to you again.
Thanks, Kulpreet.
Well, Rajesh, I would like by asking you, what is the relevance of Kirana stores in India in the current times?
Okay, that's a very valid and good question to start with. Uh, so, if you see the Indian market, so that's where we start, right? So, the market we have close to 12 million Kirana stores and probably around 5 million organized stores, including online stores. So it's like very small percentage of the market is ruled by your multi-formats, online stores, etc. So majority is still with almost 95% of the people buy from a Kirana store somewhere near to your house. So and the Kirana stores give probably like employment to a massive amount of Indian population. So the relevance of Kirana stores in the country is probably uh, there is nothing which can actually beat it in terms of relevance. So that's where the first point to start with. The second is we have been seeing this for the last 15, 20 years. People have been telling that all this online or probably the large format stores which came in will kill the Kirana stores, and it didn't happen. So that's a good thing. But the problem is I'll give a different story to get people understand what I'm trying to tell. In the 90s and early 20s, we had a set of shops all around us, PCO booths. I'm sure everyone
Yes,
of us. So it used
STD,
to every
STD
100
booths.
meter, STD booths.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So every
Yeah.
100 meter you used to find two or three of these guys. Now what happened? They just stopped one fine morning just because the technology changed. So People say the Kirana stores will continue forever in India, but it's not going to happen just because the multi-format store couldn't do it, but online can. The problem is online is catching up faster. The pandemic actually accelerated the whole usage of online for groceries. The restaurants have been doing it for some time, the Swiggies and Zomatos, but the grocery market itself is now the hotcake. So everybody is getting into that,
Yes.
and everybody is setting up their own micro stores. So Dunso started it last week. So they have their own
Oh,
they have their own micro stores now. Micro store in the sense micro warehouse basically. So everybody is setting it up. Everybody is moving towards their own small warehouse and delivery, which Big Basket does, Geo does, or even the now, as I said, Dunzo does. So it's not going to go back. It's only going to get into the Kirana stores very soon. Yeah. So that's the challenge for the Kirana stores.
yeah. What happened, Rajesh, as you also might have experienced. Like, I'm in Pune, you're in Bangalore, right? And there are these Kirana stores all over around us. And during COVID, in fact, during the first pandemic, I feel this is my own experience. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I think these Kirana stores really came in handy. And these Kirana stores really supplied the essentials to the nearby areas. And what we realized as a consumer, what I realized that these kirana, we need to support these kirana stores, because these are the ones who will come in, help us or support us when we need them. And even now, people like us who are living in a cosmopolitan city, who are very technology savvy, we end up calling a lot of stuff from kirana stores.
Correct.
Even after ordering from a place like Amazon or a Big Basket or a Groffer, or maybe the new one Dunzo you're talking about, we might end up calling a lot of stuff. But at the 10th hour, we'll call our kirana store and tell him, please send one bottle of distillery, please send us 1 kg of dal and all of that. We still do that, right?
Correct.
So
Correct.
what is the problem which you saw in last, like, I think this is Ezebuy is a recent launch, right?
Right.
And I see it as a very technologically advanced platform for people like kirana stores and vegetable vendors and fruit vendors which are in our nearby area. It's a very
Right.
effective solution. So what is the problem which you saw, and what is the problem are you addressing? What is the benefit are you providing to them?
So again, that's a very good observation. In fact, during the first wave, which happened, almost everybody was taken by surprise. So the Kirana stores, the people who were buying, the online shops, everybody got a shock and a surprise, right? Now, luckily for most of the metro people like you and me, uh, the Kirana stores were the point of help for us at that point of time. Online people they didn't have people to deliver, they didn't have staff to service and all that issues. It happened. And obviously, Kirana stores stepped in. When we couldn't get out of our house, they were the people who were bringing stuff to our houses and giving it us. Now, what happened after the first wave subside? The online shops put their act back, and after the first lockdown in most parts of the country, the state governments allowed delivery of essential goods. So that never stopped in the second pandemic, the
Yes.
second wave. So with that, the online stores came back to their elements. So basically, they had staff now. And the problem was when the second lockdown, for example, in Bangalore, we had timed lockdown. So morning it's 7 to 10, you can open the shop. Now, 7 to 10 for a Kirana shop to open and go back is not easy. Some of them found very difficult. And if you see in most shops in Bangalore, a lot of shops in Bangalore, the staff may not be local. So they came from all over the country. So we had this migrant population which came. A lot of these people went back and they never actually returned. So during the second wave, they were struggling to deliver. That became a bigger issue. Now, at the same time, the online stepped up and they started delivering. In fact, Big Basket and all these guys in the second wave were excellent in terms of delivery. So they didn't have a problem. And the other side of the story is people have a very short memory for you and me as well. So we have been using Kirana stores, they helped us, but by the second wave, we forgot the Kirana store story and we just got onto the online part, which is easier for us, right? The ease of buying is a big deal for you and me. So I'm not talking of a tier two city or a rural area. I'm talking of metro cities. We don't want to get out of our house, especially when the second wave came. People didn't want to get out. It was scary. So the easiest way was online. You just go, you sit in the house, order, you get the stuff. You may have paid more, but you still got the stuff. So the second wave actually started hitting Kirana stores. So today, when we go into a lot of these shops, I meet Kirana stores every day. So I meet a lot of. So one, they are understaffed now because they don't have people to deliver and all that. Second, they have been significantly hit. So especially in certain parts of Bangalore, so the east side, which is called the IT corridor, there are shops which have lost probably 50% of their daily sales. And it's not because that sale has just disappeared. That sale has just moved to online. That's all. So people keep buying. People don't stop buying. People buy. Instead of from place A, went to place B. That's all. That's the challenge the Kirana stores are facing. And pandemic just accelerated. So probably without the pandemic, the online should have struggled for another 3-4 years to come to this level. They just got it.
Yes. So, a very nice point you said that, in last year, the comparison which you made, that, we forget. Our memory is very weak, right?
Yeah.
So, what is that you're bringing on for these Kirana shops, which can actually make them match up with the market which is being taken away by the e-commerce or the online providers or maybe certain other aggregators, right? So,
Right.
what is that you are? What is the unique about Ezebuy, which is going to benefit such people?
Right. So there are a couple of things. So we did. So Ezebuy, we had been doing a pilot for almost 6 months. So the pilot was going on during. So during the whole second wave, and just before the second wave, we had started the pilot. We had around 200 stores. We were testing it out. We were getting feedbacks and all that. So one thing what we realized, in fact, this was our hunch when we started as well. The biggest, so if you look at a buying process for grocery, there are few elements. One is cost of buying. So the cost is one important factor. Then there is the time by which you get the stuff. So you buy something, you need to get it probably in half an hour, 1 hour. We are talking of grocery. I'm not talking of the Amazon stuff which you get after 2 days, a few days. That's okay. I'm talking of groceries, food items, fruits, vegetables, and all. You typically expect it to come in next 1 or 2 hours, right? So speed at which a material delivers, the cost. The third is ease of buying. Now, ease of buying is a very uh, significant element of the whole thing. Uh, we gravitate towards things which are easy to buy. Okay, so if you look at three types of shops, I would say shops basically. One is a Kirana shop, which is what we are talking. There is your large format shops like your Big Bazaar, Geo Store, or a Spar, that sort of stuff. Uh, and then there is online. Okay, if you look at all three, the ease of buying is highest for online. Simply because you can sit at home, you just have to open your mobile phone and just click, select, and send order. It's as simple as that. Right now, the lowest is for a kirana shop. Basically, you'll have to walk into a shop. Uh, you will have to ask the guy. Sometimes you'll have to ask him if it's available. Then you'll have to do all that thing, then pay and come out. So ease of buying is the only element in the three steps which we were talking, which is affecting kirana stores. The cost of buying actually is not too different because end of the day, big baskets and all charge you for they're giving. So they may be giving some discount on some items, but they may be charging you for something else. Similarly, if you look at the time it takes, online is the worst. You order today, you get it tomorrow morning. That's the best case scenario, unless you go for some premium buying where they charge you extra for that. So, in that perspective, we figured if we can eliminate or improve their ease of buying for a kirana store, it makes a lot of difference for everybody to buy. So, the Ezebuy foundation is on that particular premise. Make it easy for customer to buy something from a kirana store. When I say kirana store, it can be a fruit and vegetable, it can be a grocery shop, it can be a meat shop, it can even be an eatery or a cake shop. So all these elements. So we bundle everything into that whole basket. Uh, Now, one important problem for kirana stores moving to online is actually it's not one, it's actually two. One is they don't have the technology bandwidth. I would say that's word I would use. They know technology, so it's not like they don't know anything. So they understand terms like digital marketing and all. I was actually surprised when we did the pilot. So they were coming back and telling us about digital marketing. So I was actually surprised. So the problem is they don't have the bandwidth. So in most online shops, you need to maintain a catalog. Okay, that is the biggest challenge for a grocery shop. So if you walk into a small grocery shop next door, he will have around 7,000 SKU or 5,000 SKU. 5,000 SKU on a catalog on an inventory basis is very difficult to maintain for him on a daily basis.
Mm.
Now, the other side is if you go to a fruit and vegetable, the SKU may be less, maybe 100, 200, but his price changes every day. Again, the same problem. He doesn't have the bandwidth to update, upload, and all that. So that was one of the biggest challenge. The second challenge is uh, they were finding it difficult to. So in our regular buying, so I'll give an example. So you want to buy meat. You go to a meat shop. You ask for 1 kg chicken. Just now, most often what happens is the chicken will be either 1.1 kilo or zero point 0.9 kilo.
Yes.
Now, right?
I
It's
think you
not.
go and buy chicken and for your wife.
Yeah, well, it's not easy for somebody to give you exactly 1 kilo in certain items. The problem is in a normal online buying, you first pay, right? You select chicken, you pay, and then you wait for the shop to deliver it. Now the problem is the chicken is 1.1, which means the shopkeeper will have to call you and tell you, sir, it's more than 100 grams more, you have to pay me more. It's not a very pleasant experience for most of us. Uh, So these two elements were the basic problem for kirana stores getting onto online. So otherwise, there are technology available. So you have Shopify. You would have heard it's a US. You can put up a store very easily. But for grocery, any model of Shopify doesn't work. Actually, it doesn't work. It works for certain set of products. So if it's a fashion, if it's a technology, but prices don't change. You have a finite amount of SKU and all that, so it worked. But for a grocery and these type of stores, it didn't work, and that's where the Ezebuy technology is built around in such a way that the customer, when I say customer, it's my customer who is a kirana shop, doesn't have to spend time creating categories or creating catalogs. He doesn't have to worry about inventory because everything is taken care by the backend at Ezebuy. So he just have to set up a shop and start collecting orders. It's as simple as that.
Right.
That's what we
So,
have done.
okay, we've got an interesting question from someone. He's saying that, there is still a large rural population, right,
Correct.
which has that is not mobile friendly. And so, there, do you think that kiranas will cease to exist too?
Uh, no. So, so don't get me wrong. The Kirana stores are not going to cease existence in the next probably 20, 30 years. It's not going to happen. In fact, a country like India, if you leave the tier 2 city, it's going to continue. There is no way the big supermarkets and the online are going to service this market. It's too broad. What we are talking is predominantly a metro. We are talking of tier 1, tier 2 cities. So that's where this challenge is for the Kirana stores. The other places, Kirana stores will continue to work. In fact, certain states, so I'll give an example. We were talking to people in Kerala. Uh, so this is just before the pandemic, again, the same issue. So pandemic has changed the dynamics, but what happens is people like to go to the store, not because they want to see something. It's basically a meeting place for them. So they come, their friends come. The shopping is like a friends meeting place. So it's inside a shop or in front of a shop, basically. So that will continue in most of the uh, smaller villages, smaller towns. That will continue. So the Kirana shop actually acts as a place for people to meet. It keeps happening, right? So that's going to continue.
Okay, great. So, the tell us that Easy Buy is
Mhm.
helping all the local shops, like be it kirana, be it vegetable guy. So how are you facing any challenges, ground challenges? What is the challenge for you? Is it a your client acquisition challenge, or the user challenge?
So so let me give some numbers. I think that makes things in perspective. So we launched Ezebuy on 26th of July. It's less than a month now, and we already have a significant chunk in thousands of users or thousands of retailers we have been able to onboard. So getting retailers on board is not actually the bigger challenge. I'm not saying it's easy. So everything is difficult, right? So, but when you start explaining it to them, what we bring, what they get out of this, it's easier for us to get people on board. The real challenge is uh, one. So what we do is we set up a shop. We are not an aggregator, so we are not like a Swiggy where you go into Swiggy, you see all shops and order from there. That's not exactly what we are doing. So what we are doing is we create a shop for a particular store, and it's his store. So customer go to his store and order. Okay, so it will be, say if it's an ABC store, that whole page will be for ABC, and they are ordering directly to ABC, and we are only helping them in payments and delivery elements and giving the whole platform. Now the problem is for them to, so while they are comfortable with technology, they are not very comfortable in sending out to the message to their customers, right? So it's taking some time. So we are helping them with digital marketing, as we said. So we create, so for most shops, we create a digital marketing element, which basically helps them to send it to their customers through WhatsApp, through Facebook. Some of them use Facebook. Most of them use WhatsApp. So they send the brochures, posters, etc. to their customer. We also give them in-store branding so that customer who come in can see they are online, and it's always possible to order online as well. So that's the challenge is more from our retailer to their end user.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So, you said that, you are helping all these small shops with digital marketing, right? So, what are your learnings there? So, have you found that people like us are wanting to go this way with the Kirana shops? Because I'll give you my example. So I'm there. We have two, three shops around, and we are very comfortable calling them, and we call them, and we tell them, okay, ye char cheezein, just send us these four things, and they send it in a manner of like, in a matter of like
Minutes.
15 minutes.
Correct.
Minutes,
Correct.
right? So, do you think people like us would also get into technology rather than just a phone call away?
So the biggest it's not only phone call. So phone call is one way of reaching to your kirana. So the second is WhatsApp. People just message the shop saying that I want this. It sends a list, right? That's the two ways you reach to the shop. Now, both of this have some element of issue for the retailer to keep a track. So if it's WhatsApp, you get a message, he sees it, he says, "Yeah, I'll take it." Then he gets another message, then he gets everything. Basically, forwards keep coming. Your message just goes down, or sometimes he forgets. The same with the story of you calling him and telling him you have to write down. Okay.
Mhm.
Uh, and then there may be like 5-10 orders. He doesn't know what happens, so he misses one order. He just goes below the log. Now, what we do is very similar to this order. Instead of calling, it's a two-way ordering, two-step ordering. So basically, you select your item. The retailer gets it on his dashboard, which is a phone. In fact, he doesn't need a computer or anything. He just needs a phone. He gets a call as well. So when there is an order, he gets a call. It's not like an SMS. He missed the SMS and he didn't check. So he gets a call. He checks the dashboard. He sees the order and it doesn't get piled up. So there is nothing else to distract on that dashboard. It's only the orders. So maybe one order, two order, three order, or 10 orders, and it will be in the same time. So the oldest order will be on the top. So he tries to serve it first. So there is no distraction. That's the first element. Second is, as I said, your call. One of the reason is you call him. You ask, "I want dal," and he will say yes or no. He may say, "This is the price today. There is two versions of 10 rupee, 20 rupee, or 30 rupee." Then you select it, right? That's the whole kirana shop ordering experience. You don't have to pick. Now,
Yes.
same thing is replicated. We emulate the whole real world ordering experience on Ezebuy. So when you place an order for, say, example, dal, now uh, the kirana shop guy can on the order itself before you pay. So it's like you're sending a WhatsApp message. You send an order to the store without paying. The store can give you option of what you want. Okay, so he will give a option of, say, if you have 10 items, he can give 2-3 items as option, and the rest he will tell you the availability and all that. After selecting everything, you can just pay. Which basically means once you pay, you get what you are ordered.
Yes.
It's not like you paid and you don't have the stuff and you wait for the refund to come. There's nothing like that.
Yes. And what about the delivery system? So, for example, uh, a Kirana shop opens a shop on Easybuy, and what is the delivery system? Do they have their own staff, or do you support them in that delivery
So
system?
it's two ways. I'm sorry. So there are two options. So there are shops which say we have delivery staff and we will deliver, say, for example, 5 kilometers or 10 kilometers or X kilometers. So within that distance, if the order is within that distance, they deliver. We don't do anything. Assume a shop has set 5 kilometers as the delivery range. If there is an order which comes after the fifth kilometer, we pick up and deliver.
Oh wow! I think that way his market
Reach is
increases.
yeah, his reach is more now.
Yeah, because what from my personal experiences, there are certain shops we like, right? There are
Correct.
certain local kirana shops, some vegetable vendor, some fruit vendor. We like this guy gives good stuff. Let me go to this guy and get this from there,
Correct.
right?
Exactly. So he's probably far away. So in Bangalore, I would say he's in Indiranagar and I stay in Marthavalli. So it's 15 kilometers. Normal situation, he can't deliver.
Right. Flowers is a big market. It's just a thought. Flowers is a very big market, and I have
Okay.
not seen anybody tapping that market because flowers is because that's the
I
issue
never
which I
thought about it. We never thought
I
about it, but
yeah I experienced this in my life just recently.
okay.
During pandemic, what happened. I'm very fond of flowers, and I want certain flowers on a daily basis, maybe lilies or roses or rajnigandha, and I had no shop open near my house. And yes, I knew that there was something 3 kilometers, 5 kilometers ahead. I couldn't get it, because they
Right.
will not deliver ki bahut dur hai, right? Have you
Correct.
tried tapping up this area? Because in flowers, I think nobody has tapped that. We have certain brands in flowers, like ferns and petals and stuff like that. But
Right.
otherwise, I think nobody has tapped this flower market, which is, I
Right.
think, bigger than actually, if you see, it is bigger than the food market also, because flowers
Okay.
have higher margins.
Okay. So frankly, I never knew. I'm not a flower person, so I don't. I didn't know that. So thanks for the tip. I think we will take a look at that. I never knew this is a big market to start with.
Yeah,
So
and
yeah,
it's a very interesting market.
I see a lot of florists around, but I didn't know. I didn't know it's a big. That's my
Because
mistake.
everybody finds, you get everything nowadays, like you said, e-commerce, you get, all the groceries, everything, but nowhere you get flowers.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, you have a point. Yeah.
Nowhere. So I was just wondering, I was going through your website, I was wondering, okay, where are the
Yeah,
flowers?
flower is not a. We don't have a section for flowers. Yeah.
I think that
We
can
had a
be a
florist on our platform when we did the pilot, but I didn't. So we just added one. So I think I need to revisit the whole thing.
Okay, great. Well, I think it's a great chat with you, Rajesh. Just before we end, tell us your take on vocal for local, because I think what you're
Ah,
trying to do is
correct.
empower the local community and the local business walas. So, what are your
Correct.
thoughts on vocal for local?
Uh, See, vocal for local. I don't think we. So, if you look at our whole premise, vocal for local is something which we imbibe, and we have it all over our websites and LinkedIn. And we actually live by that. We don't think it's just a fancy word, which it's not a hashtag for us. It's actually what we believe and do. The whole platform has been created for smaller shops. We are not designed it in such a way that it's looking at an MNC guy coming and selling anything to it. It's not the whole. That's not the point we have. So we actually live by the term. We try and help them as much as possible. We give them platform. We help them with marketing support. We help them with teaching them how to. Uh, so just before I wrap up, so one thing what I can explain. Uh, See, when a customer orders, one is you obviously pay and get the stuff, but I think the customer is also looking for a small token of appreciation. When I say token of appreciation, it doesn't need to get money and he doesn't need a keychain or something. It's not what we are looking for. What we do is we ask the retailer. So on through our platform, the retailer can actually interact with the customer. So one is he can call, he can send a WhatsApp and all that. So we encourage the retailers to send a thanks note on WhatsApp. You just we created a template as well, so you can just message it, and a lot of customers appreciate it. Somebody telling him that thanks for placing an order on us. It makes a difference. So that's how we are helping a small retailers to get more customer friendly, and that basically means we are helping them to grow their business. So yeah, vocal for local is something which we live every day.
Wow. And I think that's very inspiring, Rajesh, because that's what I think I personally learned during the last 1.5 years that we need to be attached to our roots. And these kirana shops have been serving us for years together, for
Correct.
centuries together. And here is one platform, Ezebuy, which is empowering them. I think everybody who's listening to this chat must enroll to Ezebuy and promote and tell your kirana guys to download it and talk to their
Correct.
team. I think it will be really interesting.
Yeah,
Well,
they don't even
while
have
we are,
to set up a shop in like 2-3 minutes. They don't even have
oh
to tell
wow,
us. Yeah.
oh wow, so people can
Yeah.
set up shops in 2 3 minutes. I am
We have a
definitely.
catalog of, we have a catalog of over 10,000 products. So you can just pick and choose and just start running with it. That's it.
Oh wow. So this is across India, or you just phase
Yeah,
wise
it's
on?
across India, but so we as a team are focused on Bangalore, but the delivery service is available across metros, major metros.
Oh wow, great. So I'm going to tell to my Kirana guy that please
Yeah.
download this and open your shop. Well, while we are going, there are a few questions more which are coming from listeners. Dilip is asking, there is competition in pricing online on different sites. How you see this competition of discounts going in future for the
Okay.
Kirana shops? Obviously, I think a good question.
Correct. So I mentioned earlier as well. So one of the three elements of a buying is cost, ease of use, and all that. So if you look at the total cost of buying from an online shop on lot of stuff, you end up paying the same price. You don't have too much of discount. Now, what we realize from most kirana shops is the the usage of the space of the shop. So if it's a 100 square feet shop, kirana shop, and 100 square feet, and just making it smaller, a multi-format shop, you'll probably find 3 times more inventory in a kirana shop than a multi-format shop. So the cost per product they spend is much higher, and that cost comes somewhere to the customer. So it's not like it's a free lunch, right? So that gets charged on to the customer. Uh, while we have seen, so I'll give another example of Swiggy and Zomato. So when they started, there were huge discounts, right? People started queuing up and buying. Today, what is happening is the discounts have disappeared. People are still continuing to buy. So it just becomes a habit. And all these discounts which most online guys give today is just a way to catch you, to catch the user, and just to make it a habit out of this. So Kirana guys, while cannot provide the same amount of deep discounts which bigger shops can give, they can probably give a better service, right?
Great.
You get faster
Absolutely.
delivery. If you have a problem, you just call the uncle next door. He will replace it or he will do anything for you. That's the
Absolutely.
service, right?
Absolutely. I think I'm so happy that I reconnected with you a few days back, and I saw that you launched this new platform, and I was quite inspired, and I'm very happy that we connected today and we discussed in detail. Just to recap on what you said, which I could kind of catch on, is that there is 12 million kirana shops in India. My God, that's a big number.
Yeah,
And
125 lakh.
yes, yes. And one interesting thing which you said that we as humans have short memories. When I said last year we were buying, and they helped us, and everybody we saw a lot of media doing stories ki kirana shops ne bahut help kiya hai, and we should stand by local, vocal for local. But suddenly, as you very rightly identified and said that in this second year, which is 2021, we moved on very casually to the online, forgetting what happened in 20. So
Correct.
that was interesting. Another interesting thing which you said was, that the only differentiation of us as users going to online and probably going to a kirana shop is ease of buying. And that's what Easy Buy is bringing on the table for all the kirana shops and fruit shops or vegetable shops, or maybe some other vendors, local vendors, mutton vendors, chicken vendors, or whatever. They
Right.
are. So you are bringing that technology to them and ease of buying to them, which I think, as per your research, is the biggest reason of people, ordering online. So I think that's a lot of luck to you, and may your business prosper and you help all the kirana shops and other shopkeepers who are, our neighbors actually, prosper their business. And I'm sure you will also prosper. A very good luck to you.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. And thank you for giving us this platform to talk. Uh, Appreciate the whole conversation. Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you so much. Thank you for your time, and thank you, listeners, and thanks
Thanks
for your
all for
questions.
yeah.
Stay tuned. Next week, we are going to talk on advancing life with Dr. Sudhakar Manav. And stay tuned on this channel every Friday for Building the Future Together series. Thank you so much. Thank you, Rajesh, for being there.